Happy New Year, guys. I know it's late to even say Happy New Year, but guess what? Better late than never. So, Happy New Year to you guys. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Mama Diaries. And today, I want to talk about an important topic. Today we are dealing with the importance of vision, because Proverbs chapter 29 verse 18 tells us that where there is no vision, people perish. In NIV, the version says, where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction. Now, it tells us blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction. And as we know, wisdom is comes from the fear of God, because the Bible tells us that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. So now for us to have this wisdom, for us to seek and hear this wisdom, we have to go to God. And majority of the time as Christians, we find our pastors, like, they come and tell us, I've been in the presence of God, I've prayed about it, I've fasted about it, and this is the word or the vision of the year. And you're like, oh, thank you, we will take it and run with it. But that should tell you as an individual that you also have to seek time and heed for that wisdom, for that revelation, so that you will not perish. Because where there is no vision, definitely people perish. And so today, I want us to talk about why we should go and seek, the revelation, the vision for the year for ourselves. Because what majority of us do is tunachukuanga ile vision ya kanisa and we run with it. And it's okay to do that. It's okay because it's a word spoken from God through the church. But also as an individual, he has a vision for Faith, he has a vision for Kim, he has a vision for Dennis. There is a corporate vision that we are usually given as together as believers, but also there is an individual vision for you, and that is what I want us to talk about, so that when you go to seek him, to seek that wisdom, to hear that wisdom for the revelation, you get to know the difference between his vision and your vision. So today I want to give you some topics that will lead, some highlights that will lead you to know if the vision that you truly have comes from God, or it is your own vision, your own idea that you think that it is God's vision. So number one thing or highlight that tells you that your vision is from God is a vision needs a vessel. So when we will be drawing some of these points from the story in John chapter 2, where Jesus turned water into wine. And there were two vessels in that story. There were the 6 empty vessels that had the previous wine, and also there was the servants who were the willing vessels to pour the water into the jar. So if you know that the vision you have, you are not willing enough to accomplish it, please check kama ni yako or it's from God, because all the times that God has given someone a vision is he knows that person will be a vessel willing enough to fulfill the vision that he has placed in their lives. If we check from the Bible, from when the world was created, Adam became a willing vessel to name all the creation that God had created. You see, Moses was a willing vessel. together with his siblings Aaron and Miriam, to save the, the kingdom of Israel from the hands of King Pharaoh. Joseph was a willing vessel. When God gave King Pharaoh the vision of how Egypt was to be in the next 14 years, Joseph had to be willing enough to first interpret the dream, and second, serve the people who had made him a slave, who had kept him in jail, but still serve them and ensure that God's vision came to pass. So number one thing is you need to know, if you're going to pray for a vision, you need to be a willing vessel to make sure that the vision that God has placed in your life will come to accomplish. Sometimes it may seem crazy. I mean, for those servants who are pouring water into jars, they had questions, but they still poured those jars with water. They were willing enough to follow the instructions of Christ to fill those jars. So number one is you need to be. The second thing you need to know is your vision must be visible. What I mean by visible is you have to write it down. So whatever God gives you, write it down. For Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 tells us that write down the revelation and make it plain on tablet, so that whoever may read it may run with it. So is your vision plain enough so that even if it's a person who wants to see it, who wants to, like for example, if your vision about your business, have you written it down plain and simple and detailed, such that you can give someone what your vision for the business is without you speaking a word and they get it? Can you give someone a vision about the friendships that you want, plain and detailed, so that even if you do not explain yourself to them, the vision can do it? Is your vision visible? Have you written down what God is speaking to you about your life, your businesses, your friendships, your relationships, your marriages? Have you made it visible? Number three is a vision must be vast. And what I mean by vast is God's vision is usually something that pushes you outside your abilities and your capabilities. So, for example, like when God was calling Moses to deliver the children of Israel from slavery, he told him, now you have to go and talk to Pharaoh. First of all, Moses was not fluent in speech. Secondly, he committed murder 40 years ago in that same, like, there was so much that was even hindering him from becoming the best candidate for that job. For the water to turn into wine seemed impossible. It seemed big, like unless if you have a chemical that we can put inside the water for it to turn into wine, then it would make sense. But there was no chemical, so it made no sense. That what tells you that the vision that you have is either from God or it's your own idea. Because if you can do it without God, then that is not a vision. It is a project. God's vision is usually vast, and it may not be as big as build a supermarket. No, it is something that is outside your abilities and capabilities. That initially, what that vision does, because it is vast, it builds your trust and dependence on God. Now you have to go back and seek Him on direction every time. You have to go back and tell him, okay, God, you said you will provide this. I do not see it. What should I do? You promised, God, you will deliver us from the hand of Pharaoh. How will we pass through this sea? That tells you that the vision that you have is either from God or yours. If it's vast, then it's from God. If you can do it without God, you can wake up and be like, I have the cash, I can do it. I don't have to pray about it. I don't have to seek his face about it. It's not a vision. It is a project. Number 4 is your vision is a verb. So you don't just get a vision, you write it, you know that it is big and it is from God, and then you cover your books and you're like, let's sleep. No, if you get a vision, you wake up and you start doing it, because that's the reason why God trusted you with it. If he gives you a vision that you will get married this year, wake up, start uh, saving for your wedding day. Start going out. If you have no girlfriend or boyfriend, go and look for them. That is the vision he give you for this year. Like, you start working out your vision, sorry, while still trusting and depending on him, because he's the one who gave you the word. If the verb was wake up and exercise, you need to lose weight this year, you need to have healthy goals this year. That's it. Wake up, do the stretches, do the things that he tells you, because sometimes we think that vision is about just big things. No, even those small things that the Holy Spirit is like, you need to change this, you need to change this, you need to stop lying, you need to do this. Those are the things that you need to write them down and start working them out the way the Holy Spirit recommends you, because vision is a verb. You don't just write it and then keep it in the books and wait for whatever has to happen to happen. No, you must work it out. And then the last thing about vision is it must be valid. Now, valid is God's hands of approval on it, because you can have a vast vision and you think, okay, I need to build a mall, and you wrote it down, you uh, you are working it out, you're saving for the mall, but how you do know that really God's approval is on it is he provides for it, because the word provision is the pro and the vision. So he has seen your vision and he knows, like, the pro is the pro in that area and the vision. So he provides for that vision. So if your vision is not valid, like it's not from God, it is, it could be big. It could be, you could have written it down, you could have started working it out. But if God is not providing for it, then I don't think it's valid from God. So you need to go and search his face once again and be like, okay, God, I thought this vision was from you. Is it really from you? And if it is, it will show you his approval and will know that your vision is valid. So those were some of the things to help you go and learn and seek God. Heed for the wisdom of revelation for yourself this year. Don't just work with the corporate vision. You also need to go and search for your individual vision, because even though God is big enough to sit and with glory and splendor and majesty in heaven, he is still personal enough to care about your personal needs and issues. And last week we said that he works with desires. So tell him your desires. Well, this is what I desire, but I really need a word from you. If I should go on forward, what should I stop? What should I do? And He will direct you. And in the whole year, as people will be complaining, you will be striding at the piece of grace because you sought Him first to know the direction that you need to go. There will be peace, there will be joy, there will be so much more that you would not have done if you just started the year and went. So just go, um, search Him for yourself. Um, Let Him direct you on what He wants this year for you, for your family, for your friends, for everything about you. Go and heed that wisdom for yourself. Please do not perish. Let this year be different. That is all I had for you. Be blessed. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share with others. Let them know that it is good to go and look for vision for themselves, and a vision that has a hand of approval from God. So love you guys. Bye. See you next time. Oh, sorry, before I go, I had forgotten that we had prepared for you some materials to help you with the journey of vision seeking. So we have a PDF journal. It's called the Crazy Faith Vision Journal. So you only pay 100 bob for it, and then we send it. You send us your, if it's your WhatsApp or your email, you tell us where you want it to be sent to. It's only 100 shillings. It's an amazing journal. It's already has how do I call it, customized pages that will help you and guide you to write down your vision. It has 100 pages, so it's not just a small thing. So 100 shillings for such a wonderful channel, but you will receive it as a PDF for now. We have not made them to be hard copy, but we are working on it. So 100 for the PDF version. And then we also have a desk calendar for January that has quotes for every single day of January that you read and you get blessed for the day. But it is also still in a PDF version. So you also, so for the calendar, it's also 150 Kenya shillings. So the channel is 100, the calendar is 150, and you will get blessed. You can also buy it to bless others. So make sure you buy it and bless others. Love you so much. I will surely now conclude. Bye. See you next time.